Okay, so you've had a party and you've got all of these cut vegetables left over because you bought vegetables and nobody ate them, and now you have all these cut vegetables and you want to know, what can I do with them? Well, what we're going to do is a series of recipes that I'll give you some ideas for what to do with these leftover vegetables from a party. Today, what we're going to do is, what do we do about all those little cherry tomatoes? These are grape tomatoes. What we're going to do is we're going to roast them, and then we're going to make a couple of dishes with the roasted tomatoes. How do you roast a tomato? You take your roasting pan, you put the tomatoes in the roasting pan, and you take some olive oil. Now, I'm going to drizzle these with olive oil. Don't go nuts. Maybe a tablespoon at most. And if it makes you feel comfortable to measure it, go ahead and measure it. So I just poured a little bit in there, and I'm just going to go like this. And those tomatoes are going to get all nice and covered with the oil. And then we're going to pop them in the pan. I have the oven at 375. And I'm going to put them in to roast for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to check them to make sure that they're not burning. They shouldn't be burning. But what they're going to do is they're going to melt. So I'll be back in 20 minutes. See you soon. All right, the tomatoes are sizzling away, and they're looking pretty good, I think. And it says I have 5 minutes left. I'm going to turn it off. We're going to stop that. Those tomatoes look very good. And what we're going to do next is we're going to have two dishes made from the tomatoes. One is just going to be a pasta dish, and the other is going to be a pita pizza. So what we want to do, I mean, you can just take the pita and throw it in the oven, but that's no fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to liven up this pita a little bit by giving it a little toast in the skillet. So I'm going to add a little bit, tiny bit of olive oil, swish it around there, and get this heated up very nice. And then what we're going to do is we're going to toss the pita into the pan and warm it up. And what you'll see is that it's going to expand, and it won't be dry anymore. It's going to be nice, and there's going to be a nice sheen on it with the olive oil. All right, so the olive oil is getting sizzly, and in it goes. So I'm just going to let it heat up a little bit. Little salt, little pepper. I'm going to get my tongs, and what I'm going to do here is just get it to heat up over the fire. Now, if you have an electric stove, you can still do this. The point is the skillet's getting hot. It doesn't matter if it's fire or electric. I'm going to turn it over a little bit, get some oil on that side. We're just going to let it cook. Okay, it's been going for about 30 seconds or so, so it's warming up. I'm going to turn it over here and get this side moving a little bit. If you're really good, you can go, woo, but I'm not really good at that. I can't do that. I have to have my tongs. So I can see it's really steaming now. And what will happen, I hope, is that it'll blow up a little bit. There it goes. I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to blow up inside between the layers. All right, let's see if I can do it. Ready? Ho! Ho!
Ho!
All right, we got it turned over. So it's nice and heated up. It's a little toasty on the outside, a little crunchy. And so I'm going to turn this off. And what I'm going to do is put it on a broiler pan for when we make our pizza. So I'm going to put this here, and then we'll come back to that when we get ready to make the pizza. In the meantime, I'm going to turn the broiler on. All right, we'll be back to this in a minute. All right, so we're going to get our little pizza ready. So I have the pita bread here, and it's got a little bit of oil, salt and pepper. I got a piece of provolone, which I'm gonna put on the pita here. Now I'm gonna make this a little different than pizza. I'm gonna put this under the broiler so that the cheese melts and gets crunchy. All right, while that's in the broiler, we're going to take our roasted tomatoes and we're going to add some fresh basil. I'm just going to tear it up with my fingers, like so. I probably have about a tablespoon of fresh basil. And I'm going to smush that around with my roasted tomatoes. And that is going to be delicious. Yes. So, while my pita bread is in there toasting, the other dish that I'd like to show you is a simple pasta dish. And I have some cooked pasta, and we are going to take the pasta, take a little bit of the tomatoes, like so, toss it. You can get a fork and just toss it up. Like so. A little bit of cheese. It's right next to you. My aide is helping me with the cheese. And voila. So there's a nice simple pasta dish with roasted tomatoes that you had left over from your party. And some fresh basil, tossed with some fresh basil. All right, we're going to take the pita out of the broiler. The cheese is nice and toasty. Clear that. And I'm going to put the pita on a plate. Bring over my tomatoes. And what we're going to do is put the tomatoes on top, like so. And that looks good. And then we're going to gild the lily by taking some baby spinach, tossing it with a tiny bit of balsamic. Now, because this is for one person, so I don't have a lot here. I'm going to use my fingers here to just toss this a little bit. And then we're going to take some of the spinach and we're going to put it on half of the pita. And then we're going to fold it and we are going to have ourselves a little pita pizza sandwich. And I can guarantee you this is going to be scrumptious. So we have the pita pizza sandwich, and we have the pasta with roasted tomatoes and fresh basil. I hope you enjoy them. Come back to see me soon. Bye-bye.